So where did it start?
It started when we got put into our groups by Daniela. In my group, I had Connor Thompson, Rebecca Rowe, Morgan Pickup, and Connor Howsey.
Okay, and what were your ideas and intentions?
Our original idea was that we was going to create a performance based around memories that we've had in the past, and we wanted to basically show how people with Alzheimer's didn't have to forget about the good times, because sometimes they don't fully forget, they just sometimes forget.
What research did you use and who did you gain inspiration from and why?
We used the actual illness as our inspiration because we wanted to base the piece on memories and not like a different kind of like practitioner or anything. What was the first bit again, Rebecca?
What research did you use?
The research that we did was like different types of memories that people usually have, like when they got married or when they had the first kid or something like that, etc. So that's what we based our performance on.
How did tutors and peers provide influence to your early ideas?
Tutors and peers helped us because they told us like not to do a performance. They told us to do a workshop-based idea instead, because doing a performance we didn't actually know what their memories were. Whereas at a workshop we could ask them and get them involved regarding the piece.
Did your planning cover all eventualities?
I wouldn't say it did, because some parts we were wondering if the chair one would be suitable for everyone, because Alzheimer's you can't really put an age on it, so you could have someone that's really young with Alzheimer's that can do a lot of physical warm-ups, etc., or you can have someone that's 90 and can barely lift around.
Did you manage to complete your project objectives?
I think we did, because in the end we had a full piece regarding memories and a warm-up to help them. Also we included an icebreaker to get to know the audience a bit better.
Do you think you could have gone further with your idea?
I think we could have done, but because we didn't have enough time, or we didn't use our time wisely, we didn't use the full knowledge that we had to help us out making the piece.
How committed were you to getting strong results?
I was more bothered about making the people with Alzheimer's enjoy themselves instead of having a good result, because I prefer making the audience enjoy themselves more than the tutors enjoy themselves reading a few pieces of paper.
How do you use your knowledge base to help move your ideas forward and predict new areas for future exploration?
I use my knowledge because I know someone that has Alzheimer's, so I know that they do remember stuff from when they were a lot younger, but it's just recent stuff from what they had last weekend, where they went last weekend or something like that. It's they don't remember what and where they did stuff, but stuff that they did a long time ago that they really enjoyed and will never forget, that's the memories that they love.
How might the knowledge that you've learned influence you once you start a university course or employment career?
It could help me, because if I ended up working somewhere where, say, a lot of people do have Alzheimer's, it will help me realise that if you tell them once, you have to tell them 1,000 times again, because they won't remember if you... So if they ask you, you can't have a go at them. You just gotta be like, yeah, we're doing this, or no, you can't do that.
How effective was your research in terms of depth, relevance and variety?
Our research was quite well done, because we looked at, say, different types of music that they would kind of remember. So we used music from the 60s ranging to the 80s, most upbeat and catchy songs that people would remember and get involved with when doing the piece. We also set the audience out in a circle so that everyone could see everything we were doing and could get involved easier instead of like sitting in columns or rows. So that if you can see someone's like not enjoying themselves, you can look at them and be like, come on, it's only a bit of fun.
So would you say your research on old music would be your most relevant piece of research, and if not, which part of your research was the most relevant?
I'd say music was the most relevant because music makes a lot of people happy. So seeing as we were doing memories about happy times, adding the music can be like, if a song say did come on that was on at someone's wedding, they might be able to remember that better from like triggering a memory. Seeing as they do have Alzheimer's and they do forget, but a song can trigger a lot of memories. So if you listen to a song, they can hopefully remember.
Describe the effectiveness of your developments in terms of timing and depth.
Our developments were that we had a chair warm up at first, and then we didn't know whether we could do it or not because of the restrictions of some people that had Alzheimer's. But in the end we stuck to it and decided that we were going to do the chair warm up. Also we created like a photo frame that was made to have someone hold it up to face and say their own memories. So that got us like to know what they were on about a lot better. Yeah.
How did your ideas change and what influenced the changes?
Our ideas changed because at first we wanted to do a performance piece, so like acting out throughout, but in the end we ended up doing a workshop. Also, halfway through the process we gained Sam into our group, which made it easier but then more difficult at the same time through adding him because he's difficult to work with sometimes. But he took over doing the chair warm up because we thought we needed to involve him more into the piece, seeing as he joined late and didn't have much to do during the time that we had to put him in.
Were there any technical issues?
There was no technical issues because we didn't really use any tech, but we had an issue to do with the actual venue pulling out at last minute, so we had to perform in front of our peers instead of people without Alzheimer's.
Did you feel you had enough time to make your workshop?
I feel like we did, but we didn't use the time wisely. Because a lot of times we were like, we can do this again, instead of moving on and doing something else.
How effective do you think your piece ended up being? And does it meet the criteria that you had originally set for yourself?
I feel like if we did it to an actual audience with Alzheimer's, I reckon it would have been a lot more effective compared to doing it in front of our peers, because our peers took the piss really. They didn't really like get involved how we'd expect people with Alzheimer's to do. They just carried on doing what they were doing, like as they were, instead of with Alzheimer's. So it was basically a piece based around Alzheimer's performed to people that don't have Alzheimer's, so it didn't really work.
How did you respond to the feedback you'd received, whether positive or negative?
We took all feedback on board because we didn't like turn our nose up to the negative feedback, and we took the positive feedback in with open arms. So, yeah.
Do you feel your final piece communicated the concept you had intended?
I think it would have communicated it a lot better if we did perform it to people with Alzheimer's, but as I said before, we performed it in front of our peers instead of the Alzheimer's Cafe.
If you were given the opportunity to repeat the assignment, what would you have done differently?
I'd have made sure that the piece would definitely have been performed in front of a group of people with Alzheimer's, because our peers didn't really interact with what we were doing as we thought people with Alzheimer's would.
And what did you get from this experience?
I found out that if you're trying to do a serious piece in front of your peers, then they won't take it serious because they think everything's a laugh and a joke. So, yeah.